Miniature hobbying is expensive. These tiny pieces of plastic can cost anywhere from $35 to $70 depending on the miniature, not to mention all the paints and brushes and storage and all of the stuff that comes along with miniature painting. But what if I told you there was a way to fight back just a little bit? Today we're talking about FDM 3D printing and how it can save you money and change your hobbying forever. It can open up a world of new tools, new terrain, and allow you to try things that you might not have been able to do without. Let's break it down today and see if we can justify another piece of hobby equipment. Welcome back to Warforged Miniatures. Some of you may remember a few months ago I got into resin printing and how much of a horror show that ended up being. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit discouraging. You put a lot of time and money into something and you fail over and over, and it's just not easy, it's messy, there's just so much to it that's kind of inconvenient. But like all of you, I'm sure, are aware, resin printing is not the only form of 3D printing, and it's not even the most common form of 3D printing. That's where FDM printing comes in. This is what most people think about when they think of 3D printing. The little poop going around in a circle. And for years, this was something that was hard to do, hard to get into. You had to have a lot of technical experience. But with the explosion of the technology and people adopting it all over the world, the tools and the equipment have gotten better and better and easier to use. And for Christmas this year, I got myself a Bambu Lab A1 printer. When doing my research, this printer seemed to be like the easiest and most basic and easiest to operate printer on the market, and Bambu Labs has a really great reputation. So while resin printing was a big failure for me, it was time to see if I can actually improve my hobbying with this 3D printer. This printer was super easy to set up, very uncomplicated process in general, way easier than the resin printer. And with Bambu Labs Maker World and Studio, it made finding prints easy as well. And for a hobbyist, for a miniature hobbyist especially, this is kind of a dream. Like many of you know, you can't just have a miniature and play a game. You need other stuff. You need terrain. You need storage for all of the paints and the paintbrushes and even the miniatures themselves. There's so much that goes along with miniature hobbying that you don't think about when you originally get into it. All you think at first is like, oh yeah, I'll need some glue, a miniature, maybe some paint and a paintbrush. But there really is so much other stuff that you want to make your hobbying more exciting. And while a resin printer can print really high quality, and for miniatures especially is probably the way you want to go, the FDM printer unlocks abilities that the resin really can't do. And for stuff like terrain and storage and paint storage and props and backdrops, there's so much stuff that you can print with an FDM printer. So let's talk about a couple of those things. You can print stuff like storage, paint pot storage. You can print literal wall storage where you can hang up different modular storage racks for all your paintbrushes and paint pots. They have custom paint lid markers so that you can have like a little Space Marine head with different colors on the lid so you can identify the different ones. And that was something I printed right away because I wanted to use it for my speed paints. You can print paintbrush cups like this one from Games Workshop. You can literally print on Bambu Labs for free, and it probably costs you like $1 in plastic. Terrain, like I was saying, is a big one for me. I think that it is crazy the amount of money you can spend on terrain if you're just buying pieces. And if you want to do cool stuff like make big dioramas or big things, which I plan to do on this channel, it makes no sense to buy all that stuff individually when you can buy something like a 3D printer, which will give you the ability to literally unlimitedly print all kinds of stuff. So rock formations, basing bits, all kinds of cool stuff. You can literally print bases with holes for magnets in the bottom so that it makes your miniature storage easier. There's endless things that you can do. For example, you can print a painting handle. Now this painting handle has the same top as the other one I have, so all of the stuff that I have for my other painting handle that I got from Game Envy will fit onto this one. There's so many makers on there making modular terrain bits, storage cases, even stuff like unit carriers and tanks. If you're someone who doesn't care as much about the miniature painting and more about the miniature gaming, You can literally just print miniatures. The quality may not be as good, but you can still get a pretty good looking miniature, and if it's something you don't care about and you just want to play games, it's really unlimited. This kind of 3D printing is changing the game of hobbying. You can print so many cool, useful things. You can print a wet palette if you need it. Your imagination is your limit. And this Bambu Lab A1 is so easy to use. I literally have had no 3D printing experience besides the mess that I did with the resin, which this is completely different. On my first print was successful, which is great. And I've only had one failure so far in all the prints that I've done, and it was more my failure. It's because of the way the spool was lined up and stupid stuff, but really it's just an endlessly easy to use tool. I can't recommend this printer enough. It's been really awesome, and it has the capability to print in multiple colors, so in the future you can really customize anything. So custom storage for all of your miniatures. You can print texture palettes. You can make custom display cases specifically for your favorite model, for example. Like I was saying earlier, I really want to get more into dioramas on this channel and building up more cool like backdrops and backgrounds. And this is awesome. I literally found these 3D prints here that have just literally texture plates basically, so that you can put them on to foam, make walls, make ceilings, tiles. There's just so much cool stuff you can print. For example, there's another big YouTuber in the miniature space called Zorpazorp, who's famous for making like huge, grandiose terrain maps, like from Lord of the Rings, and just giant Warhammer 40k maps. And he recently released an STL bundle called Zorp Sector Rome, which includes all these awesome buildings and terrain pieces to amplify your builds. And there's so many other artists out there doing the same thing. Well, that one was more of a paid thing for someone that you know, if you're supporting a channel and wanted to help them out, you should check that out. But you can get a bunch of stuff for free. Everything that I printed so far that you're seeing in this video is free. And I'm currently right now printing a full-size bolter gun, which is not miniature related, but you can still print so many cool things. And that's another thing about 3D printing that is really awesome. For the resin printer, it really was just for miniatures. I really just wanted to print miniatures, basing bits, and like stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of stuff in my everyday life I could use a resin printer for. But this FDM printer, there's so many things I could use it for. Just literal tools that you need on a day-to-day basis. I already printed like 4 or 5 tools for the 3D printer on the 3D printer, which is like the Matrix, I don't even know. But like I was saying, I'm printing a full-size bolt gun, which leads me into all the cosplay opportunities that you can do with this. You can make swords and guns and shoulder pauldron. I'll eventually probably end up printing like a full freaking Space Marine outfit. It's just really cool to see all the things that are available to you. And like I was saying, with Bambu Labs, they have their Maker World, where it's just a bunch of printable files that are already ready on Bambu Labs that take like 2 seconds, literally. If your printer's on, you press a button and you're like already printing. It's so easy and awesome, and I just can't recommend it enough. I haven't done this yet, but before this video's over, and you'll be seeing it right now, I'm gonna tally up all of the things that I purchased that I probably could have 3D printed, and I'm gonna put a list on there, and that will show you how much money you could save with the 3D printer. So if it's something that you're starting from scratch and you didn't already purchase all of this stuff, you can just buy a 3D printer and then get all this stuff printed for you. There's so much stuff in the future that I'll be printing. There's things that I will definitely need this for. I could have made my plinth way easier with a 3D printer than carving it out of wood and spray painting it 50 times to get it black and plastic looking. I could have literally just printed it and it would have been indistinguishable probably. But for future plinths, for all kinds of display work, there's just so many things that I'm going to be printing with this thing. I really do think that 3D printing is probably the future of most hobbies, a lot of hobbies. And while AI is taking over a lot of things and all this new technology is kind of ruining some hobbies, I like to think that miniatures especially seem to be one of those hobbies that are they're a little bit protected from that, because it's so physical. You have to paint the miniatures, and even if you print them, and even if you design them and print them like using AI features, you still have to do stuff with them afterwards. So I do think that this hobby is really cool and unique, and I just think that 3D printing can add to it. And I definitely know for sure that the major companies in the space are nervous about it, because I mean, you could spend $50 on a painting handle, or you can print a painting handle for like $2. And yeah, again, you do sometimes some of the stuff that you can buy obviously is going to be way better, sturdier, stronger. But if you save 90% of the money on it, and it lasts you, even if it lasts you half as long, just print another one. You still saved tons of money. So I just think that if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, pull the trigger. And if you don't know which one to buy, do the Bambu Labs. They have an A1 Mini, which is a little bit cheaper and just a smaller build plate, but still an awesome machine. I just think that if you're someone that's taking this hobby seriously, if you're someone who sees yourself doing this for a long time, someone who likes to play different games and try different terrain and is sick of just buying, GW or whatever, just buying the same old stuff, I really think that this is something you should look into. The printer itself, there's really no complaints I have about it. The only thing that I think that is not good on it is probably the camera, which I did these time lapses with. It's just not a good camera, but I mean, obviously it's not that important, and you still can do a cool time lapse. It's cool to have a camera on there at all. So pretty happy with the printer. I think that it's number one in the space, or top in the space, for a reason. And while it's definitely not the best, and if you got more money to invest, there's probably better ones out there. For a starter, for a beginner, this is such a great option. So far, after only having it up and running for about a week now, and really only having printed for a few days, I've already got a bunch of new paint caps with little Space Marine heads on them that I'm gonna prime and paint and have them in the colors of all the different speed paints I have, so that I can see this is what it looks like covered over like a zenithal highlight or whatever, so you get an idea, so you're knowing what you're looking for. I printed some terrain pieces, some wall pieces, I found a Titan head that looks like it was like half buried in the earth, and I just thought that was super cool. Like I said, I printed that painting handle, which is already saving me a ton of effort, because now I don't have to screw on and off things. I can just have different painting handles. And like I said, I'm currently printing that bolter gun, but that's going to take a while. That is one thing about 3D printing. It does take some time. That's probably one of the bigger cons, is just like certain plates will take like 8-10 hours, so you just got this thing going all day. It's not the biggest deal, but it's something. So do I think that you absolutely need a 3D printer to continue doing your hobbying? No, not at all. Definitely do not. Do I think that it could save you money? It's a cool thing to have, and if you got some extra bucks laying around and you're looking to invest in your hobbying, this is definitely a tool that is up there in the running for one of the best things you can buy for hobby. And I would argue it might be the best thing that you can buy overall for hobbying, because it's like 50 tools in one if you want. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Is 3D printing overrated? Do you think that the things that I'm printing are kind of just crap and useless? Or do you think that the potential of the 3D printer is endless like I do? Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. And if you're here at the end of the video, you guys are the core people, the best. I love you guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, hit the notification thingy. I will probably do a future video on actually printing miniatures with the FDM printer. I'll get like a smaller nozzle and see, like, is it possible to actually print them at like an unrecognizable level for someone? So yeah, we'll see that. There's lots of things that are coming. So stay tuned, and until next time, peace out.